Happy Sunday. Max and I are here hanging out, and I had a great question about challenges with visualization. And that's so understanding because we have these really powerful minds that allow us to think so many thoughts, right? The mind is just a transmitter and receiver. And so when we're doing our visualization, most people can relate to this. What happens is you generally do what I call bursts, right? So you do like visualization or imagination burst where you go to the scene for a second, and then all of a sudden the to-do list comes, or that thing that happened yesterday, or that conversation, or what you need to do or what you didn't do, and you just have like this quick burst of visualization, and then you go on, and then you kind of have this overall general hope that it will happen in the future, which is fine because it still can. But this is like, the analogy is kind of like a vision board where it's very passive energy, where you just glance at it, you give it just a little bit of your energy with your attention, and then you go about your business, and then you think of all these other things, and then you see it again, and then you give it a little bit of energy. And this is like if you were to be in a really old car or a really old stereo that had a dial that you had to use to turn to the stations. But this dial is not one where you can turn fast. You can only do it one click at a time, and you can't even go super fast. And your current reality is on, let's say, 88.3, and the reality that you are now envisioning and you want to be in is on 107.9. And so by every little burst or glance at a vision board, you're one notch going in that direction. So yes, eventually it can happen, but it's like much, much, much slower pace of time because of the focus and energy. What's so much more powerful is to allow yourself to completely detach from your current reality. So you stop existing in this reality, and you get to that neutral place where you can now render and start existing in a new reality in your imagination. That is where the magic happens, because when you get to the place of detaching from your current reality and going to that place of like the in between, the pure positive state, and then now rendering the new scene in your imagination and letting yourself go there fully and completely, where you're so embodied with it and so immersed into the scene that you are training your nervous system that it's safe, that it's more familiar than your current reality, that it feels more real than your current reality. Then you have just hit the jackpot. Because when you can do that, when you can allow yourself to stop existing and start existing in the new reality so that it's so real, and you actually, what I do is I put it in the past so that it's already done, and that's the scene I'm living, you're sending the pure signal to the universe. 1 second.